Well, that was fun. We'll talk about it. Bears postgame coming up right now on CHGO. Wah, wah. 30-12. Well, they tried, right, guys? They played hard for a little bit. Welcome in to CHGO Bears postgame. Adam Hoge, Mark Carman, Lance Briggs is with us for the entire show, which we're excited about.
Let's go.
Yep. We will hear from Corey Wootton as well, and Greg Briggs is here too.
It was better than San Francisco. It was they score's not going to tell you much of a difference, 38-13, 30-12, but they were there. They just weren't very good. That's my and we'll get to the Hoge instant reaction in a second, but Lance, you want to throw 1 second thing in here before we do 2 hours of absolute domination?
I'll tell you this, but the Bears do well. They can dress their ass off. All right? I don't know if you've seen some of the players before, a few of these games, but they're like runway models.
Yep.
All right? They're like runway models and during a hot year, and they got the walk down. They've got the clothing down. The one thing that a runway model doesn't have, they don't have their game down. All right, that's what's missing right now, and it's unfortunate because they kick ass in fashion.
I mean, Jalen had a great outfit tonight. There's no doubt about it. He just did.
You know what's great about that stadium too? Where they come in, the locker room is on the other end, and I think for some reason the only way to get over there is you actually have to walk the length of the field on the field. Because I've sat up there in the press box after games too, like when Ryan Pace and Matt Nagy were going to get fired after that last game in 2021, and they were just walking slow walk,
nice
all the way across.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Savor the moment.
They're walking together, and then they disappeared down the tunnel, and I was like, and there they go. So now that they're all dressed up nice in the pregame, they get that nice 100-yard walk.
It felt like an NFC Championship game. Yeah. We'll get to Braggs in a second here, but why don't we start the show after a 30-12, 8th loss in a row, 4-10. They once were 4-2. Your Chicago Bears. We're all in this together, team. But let's get the Adam Hoge instant reaction.
I gotta be honest with you. I need to go on a little rant here for a second. I can't wait. Let's go.
No rant today. Look, if we're gonna sit through a 8-game losing streak and continue to do these shows for the next, let's see, including this one, we got 4 left, right?
3 left. Down to 3, buddy.
Well, including this one, we have 4.
Oh, including this one, yes, correct.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
Respect the one shot.
Sure. Sorry. My bad. He asked a question.
My point is, we're gonna have some fun here along the way. We're have to keep it light. The Doug Kramer failing to report eligible might be the funniest thing I've seen in 14 years covering this team. I mean, first of all, if we haven't seen enough evidence that maybe the Doug Kramer in at fullback at the goal line isn't the greatest idea, I don't know. So it actually works. They get in the end zone. And then Greg's over here dancing, celebrating. There's a lot of commotion going on. And then you see it. They cut to that yellow flag sitting there on the ground. And like, wait a minute. What could this be? And of all the things it could have been, number 68 as an ineligible number and failed to report eligible. Come on, man. I think I laughed for 5 straight minutes. I'm sorry. Like, at some point, this stuff with this team gets so ridiculous that if you don't find a way to laugh about it,
you're going to cry.
You're just going to cry, which Carm was actually doing at one point in the fourth quarter because they wouldn't put Beijing in the game. But that's a different subject. So I don't know. That's all I got to say. That's my instant reaction. It's all on that play.
I did get my moment. Tyson Bagent complete to Tyler Scott on the second to last play of the game was the moment I've been waiting for in 2024. But look, Keenan Allen, has he dropped more balls this year than he's dropped in his entire career?
That's actually, we should look that up.
It is unbelievable. Pass to Keenan Allen, right on the money, dropped it. You know, this guy's coming in or he's going to make this landing spot so easy for Caleb, this veteran receiver. Let's not, give up another 4th-round draft pick. What's the difference? We give up every other pick, a 2nd-round pick for Montez, 4th-round pick here, 6th-round. None of it matters. We don't get any of them back. And he can't catch. What happens when you put on a Bear uniform? How is this possible? And by the way, I've been banging the drum for Tyler Scott for a minute. Put anybody in there who can catch the football. The guy can't. He's not going to be back here. What are you doing? And Caleb, I get it. Like, he just keeps throwing him to him. The double move to Keenan Allen when he can't get open like that. There's no speed. So yeah. It was. I don't know what annoyed you the most over here, left side of it.
There's so many things. There's so many things that annoy me during a Bears football game. But I'm going to talk about this one here. You know what? I'm hard on our linebackers. I am. I'm hard on our linebackers because I'm a former linebacker. I get it. I know how the fits work. When you have an outside zone play and you see offensive linemen that are working up to the second level fast, that means that a defensive lineman has now gone free in a gap. You have to make the play, okay? The rule is if the offensive linemen stay on the double team, the linebackers should make the play downhill, all right? I saw our guys coming downhill. And kudos to TJ Edwards. He was absolutely a savage tonight. But when that offensive lineman works up to that second level and he puts his hands on TJ, he has to trust that my teammate is going to do his job. Now he's released. You've got to get off of that block and make the tackle. You know that's your responsibility. You know it. And I saw a lot of times tonight, too many times, where the offensive linemen were working up to the second level. I didn't see the defensive lineman making the play. It's a team sport. You have to trust your guy that's next to you, but you have to do the damn job. It's not hard. No, it's not easy, but it ain't hard.
Yep. Gregory, you're up.
It's hard to watch this Bears team, that's for damn sure. And, I think overall in this game, it's just you got 3 more to go, and everything is just bad. Caleb Williams was bad tonight. Receivers dropping balls all over the place. Karan Omagaji.
Oh, my God.
Omagaji. And you feel bad for him. He's in a bad spot that he can't handle. But you're a 3rd-round pick.
You feel bad for him?
I felt bad for him just because he's just so Omagaji awful.
I feel bad for you. I feel bad for Bears fans.
I feel you.
To have to watch, oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and so overall, even the defense, we're sitting here talk about a low bar. The defense, I thought, played with much better effort than they did against San Francisco. They still give up 30 points. Look at this team on 4th down, 4th and short on offense. They can't get the first down. Minnesota's on 3rd and 18, and they have a better chance of getting a first down than the Bears do on 4th and 1. And that's the difference is, it's not just a game of inches. The Bears can't win the game of inches or the game of 20 yards or more. And there's just nothing left to be said about this season. You just hope as the season progresses, you got 3 more to go, that they can finish the season healthy. And outside of that, it's sad. And you hope they don't mail it in here with 3 games to go. I wouldn't necessarily say they did that tonight. They're just not good enough.
What do Bears fans do all year? This is a good question, because our Bears have been so bad. It's like we're in hiding. It's like we have to go into hiding and listen to everybody else's discussions about their teams and either how good their teams are or how much better their teams are getting or a player that they're excited about.
Well, this is the circle of life for Bears fans is at this point now the season is over, so now we're thinking about what they need to do next in the offseason. When we get to January, we root against whoever's playing the Packers, and that's typically the 49ers in the playoffs.
Right.
And then once we get out of the playoffs, then free agency gets here. We sign a couple people. We get excited about them. We go to the draft.
You take your Bears hat off. You put a Cubs or Sox hat on, or a Blackhawks or something on. But there's some people there's a lot of Bears fans that have tattoos. You know what I mean? Good thing they have it in hideable areas.
Yeah.
Sweet and sour.
On that topic, if you were playing Bad Bears Bingo, which is a fun game to play on primetime games, I mean, they hit everything tonight, right? They had the replays of the quarterback missing wide open guys on third down. They had at the end of the game, the play-by-play guy was just basically coming up with jokes.
Sure was.
You got your ISO shot of the GM who might get fired in the press box.
McCaskey.
Yeah, and then they go George. That's the hard space to get on the bingo board usually. George can be hard to find sometimes. They found George. They got him on there. Bingo with the free space right there.
George, what was the chat that we were having as far as the look on his face? Is that a public comment? Can we say what we were thinking when they showed George with that look? I remember. I forget exactly what it was, but it was not very complimentary. Oh, the coach said a bad word. So
Coach said a bad word.
Coach said a bad word. Yeah, that's our leader right there, Big George, just overlording. Polls looked like, please get the camera off me. Please get the camera off me. Please get the camera. Okay, thank you. I really don't want to be here anymore. But look, to what you just laid out, Adam. The biggest concern has to be on some level, and I think most Bears fans, myself included, are remaining optimistic that Caleb is going to find his way to being a very good quarterback in the league. But when you see receivers running wide open...
Well, let's save the Caleb's stuff for the franchise focus coming up. I'll give you a different concern here that might affect the general manager, okay? Well, that will too. But when this rebuild started, we used to play a game on this show called Bear or Not a Bear, which, speaking of George, he actually played with us on the sideline in an OTA practice during the first year of the rebuild. The point being, there were so many guys on the roster where they flipped the roster, and it was like, is this guy a Bear or is he like a Chicago Alderman? That's another way you could play the game. Have you guys ever heard of Jonathan Ford?
I believe that's number 64 out there because everybody out there was saying, who the hell is 64?
Because I heard of Jonathan Ford for the first time tonight. He had 4 tackles and a TFL.
He looked good.
He had some good explosion off the line of scrimmage. There were a few plays where he really got into the backfield. He would cause some confusion and some disruption.
So here we are at the end of season 3, and it's still like, who's this guy?
He was a Packers 7th-round pick in 2022. Everybody remembers him from there.
They signed him off the Packers practice squad last week.
Smart. Maybe we can sign some more off Packers practice squad.
Jonathan Ford is the answer.
Who needs draft picks? You could just sign all the players off the Packers practice squad and maybe be in better shape.
Intercept their scouts, their scouting techs, something. I just don't get it, man.
He went to the U. Jonathan Ford. Guy was. Did Jonathan Ford make more plays tonight than Zach Pickens has made in his entire Bears career? I think he did.
He's had his name called more.
Yeah.
He's had his name called more than Zach Pickens.
Pickens technically had 5 tackles tonight, but no, nothing in the backfield. No quarterback hits. Nothing.
I will say that they lost by 30, whatever they lose by, and
30 minus 12 is 18.
They didn't play well. But the defense, I thought, played with much better effort. I thought they were, tackling better, hitting harder. I know this is a low bar, but honestly, what else is there to say? I don't know what else there is to say in a game like this.
I'll say one more thing.
These last 2 games have been the there's just nothing to evaluate. They're not. There's nothing. These games. It means nothing. I hate saying that, but it's.
How's this?
It's pointless 4 quarters.
You people look. Thomas Brown's been a conversation. We can go do it later, but the play calling tonight was off.
Yeah. Well, we'll get into that next year on our franchise focus. We'll talk a little bit more about Caleb because yes, there's some concerning things there we got to discuss this late in his rookie season. But first, You probably have noticed how the days are getting shorter and shorter, although we're almost to the end of that. Like 5 more days, then they'll start getting longer again. That'll be nice. But the point is that your to-do list, they have not gotten any shorter. You want to power through your busy days with Factor's no prep, no mess meals. From breakfast to dinner and anything in between, Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled and feeling your best. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenient options so that you can add to your box, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and even smoothies. Don't let the shorter days slow you down. Stay energized with America's #1 ready-to-eat meal delivery service. And Factor lets you do you. You could choose from 6 menu preferences to help you manage calories, maximize protein intake, avoid meat, or simply eat well balanced. You want to stay on your A game with quality ingredients you can trust and quality you can taste in every one of Factor's fresh, never frozen meals. So head to factormeals.com/CHGO Bears50 and use code CHGO Bears50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code CHGO Bears50 at factormeals.com/CHGO Bears50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active.
Franchise Focus coming up, but first off, a shout-out to our great friends at Ray Chevrolet. 2025, right around the corner. Now is your chance to save big on your next vehicle. The model year-end sales event is going on right now at Ray Chevrolet. Head in today to shop their huge selection of new Chevy models with the special model year-end prices. Right now, you're taking 10 to 20% off MSRP on select new Chevy models, or you can shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. One of the top selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest. You'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. Visit our partner this December at their location, Route 12 in Fox Lake, or at raychevrolet.com. Shop the year-end model sales event all month long by visiting Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake or raychevrolet.com. Ray Chevrolet, they got the race price promise. They guarantee you your next vehicle more affordable than ever. No price changing. Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake, raychevrolet.com.
All right, time now for a franchise focus, and we discuss the quarterback against the Vikings. Caleb Williams, just 58.1% completion percentage in this one. Didn't get to 200 yards passing. Sacked, I guess if there's anything, he only got sacked twice. Got hit, felt like a million times. 1 touchdown there at the end of the game to Keenan Allen. And the passer rating, not as bad as you might think, 86.9. But, guys,
That's not it.
Yeah, there
It wasn't a good game.
It wasn't. It didn't feel like a good game.
He missed how many open receivers over the middle, that they put that on display on the telecast. His touch on these deep balls and some of those
still not there.
All right, so there was a comment that was made that said that the play calling was awful. If Caleb hits those receivers, if his receivers catch the balls when they were catchable, it's not a bad game plan. There was a short yardage play. I don't know if it was 3rd down or it was 4th down. And DeAndre Swift gets hit, goes down. The first thing that I say is keep your legs driving. He gets hit and he stops his leg drive. The first down it's within a foot. The play call wasn't wrong. I love the play call. It was the right play call. We double down. Okay, we have the linemen that we have. Guys. No. Guys get beat because their defensive linemen that they pay are better than our offensive linemen. So a guy gets in, he creases and gets his hands on DeAndre Swift. That should be at full speed. At full speed, DeAndre Swift should be able to get a foot.
Yeah.
Right. But when he gets touched, he stops moving, he's driving his legs, which is cardinal sin for a running back, and we don't get the first down. There was nothing wrong with that call.
So my only pushback, though, Lance, because I agree with everything you just said, and it's been frustrating with DeAndre Swift in these short yardage situations kind of all season. And that's my only issue is, like, I feel like you know that by now.
But Who else do we put in?
Well, I think in those four,
That's the point.
I think you got to throw the ball with Caleb in those situations. But then we get back to how he just missed some guys. So I get it from both. The bottom line is players aren't good enough right now. They're not performing.
There we go. One of the issues, I have some of these issues. This comes across when I'm in high school coaching, and it's like, okay, a play didn't work. So what call do we need to go to in order to get something to work? Okay? Now, we practice this stuff all the time. Okay? We practice stuff all the time. Now, why are we going to go get into our Rolodex over plays to fix this play that didn't work? This play didn't work because, and I'm using this as an example because one player was out of position. How about we fix that player that was out of position rather than go find the call that corrects this.
Yeah.
We don't have the player. And sometimes you're in a position where it's like, listen, we have to learn from this shit. Like, this is the personnel we have. This is the right call. It's not going to fucking work against this team, but this is the right call. So it's up to you guys to go make it happen.
Well, the first one on fourth down, or maybe it was the second one.
First one was the wide run.
Yeah,
the second one
pitched
went up the middle.
So the first one, then, so the pitch was to run behind Amagaji. I mean, that doesn't make a ton of sense. You're giving the ball to a back who goes down on arm tackles behind a left tackle who's been on the field for all 5 seconds. I hear you. I totally agree. DeAndre late in the game, his legs were moving. Early in the game, it just wasn't there. But this just speaks to a larger issue with the running back room. You run it all the way back. You let David Montgomery go. You nickeled and dimed him. Last year, you had 3 running backs in it. This year, you decided to get rid of Khalil Herbert. You got rid of Velus Jones. You knew that DeAndre Swift, by the way, was not a physical running back and also had missed games every single year. A couple of them. You got
rid of the fullback, the actual fullback you had.
And you got rid of Kyrie Blasingame, who's playing for the Eagles now.
Right.
You just put yourself in a bad spot.
But you can't keep saying. Well, you can say whatever you want. It's hard to say the call is wrong. The week prior, we gave up 7 sacks, and on one of those sacks, I'm telling you, like they pimp slapped our damn center, and we had no chance. The only chance you really have offensively is moving forward, and we can't even move forward.
Right.
That's hell, man. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, you fellas, like, if you were the coach, if I were the coach, I would say, listen, fellas, we called plays to move forward. You know what I mean? To move forward. I know that Amagaji is a new player, but we put him in position to give him the best chance for us to win, and he couldn't do it.
Well, and to kind of reverse engineer this conversation, this is what I worry about with hiring a Ben Johnson. Because I'm sorry, Ben Johnson might be the greatest play caller in the history of football, but when he goes from coaching the guys he has now to coaching the roster he's going to have next year, it's not going to be the same results.
Yeah.
They might be better, but the Bears are not going to have the number 1 offense in the league just by hiring Ben Johnson. There's too many other problems across the board.
Yeah.
Well, we went through that with Mike Martz, and I can remember players that played on that team where they told stories about, like, they'd get in the film room and they'd be like, and Martz would say how he wanted the play to go. And he's like, yeah, well, we don't have Marshall Faulk, and we don't have Torrey Holt, and we don't have Isaac Bruce. You got Jay Cutler telling him, quit running 7-step drops because I'm getting murdered.
You're going to Mark Bolger me. Don't Mark Bolger me.
Well, right. So, it's one of those things where you have to understand who your personnel is, and a good play caller will always scheme to what his talent is. Overall, yeah, DeAndre Swift started to get going as the game went on, but then if we get back to the franchise focus and Caleb of things, he's missing guys over the middle that are wide open. He's gone up and down through this 7-game skid of not taking what the defense gives you and not making the easy completion that's staring you right in the face. That becomes quicksand. Then you add in drops from DJ Moore, Keenan Allen, probably had 4 or 5 tonight. Roma Dunze had 1 in the end zone as well. And then Cole Kmet, your tight end, has 1 catch for 14 yards. That was probably his only target of the game as well. And I bet you, how many games are we into the season now? I think he's had 10 games where he's had 2 targets or less. In any game where he's had 5 targets or more, he produces. Get your ball to the tight end that you paid $50 million to, because he is a good tight end when you throw it to him. And like Keenan drops some passes, okay, he's still Keenan Allen is one of the most illustrious wide receivers in football. If you throw it to him, right, okay, but I'm just saying, like, throw it to these guys enough. If there's a drop, so be it, but you got to keep going to your players that have proven who they are in this league. Cole Kmet's has completely disappeared from this offense this season.
I say this, so like the Keenan Allen thing, to me, is an example of, if there's an idea, which at this point we have to lend credence to, that like people just show up at Hallis Hall and become a lesser version of themselves for whatever reason, the culture, the losing, whatever it is. Like the knock on Keenan, where we all said it at the time of the trade, if this trade doesn't work out, it's because he gets hurt, because he's old. He ended last season, and he's just not going to play enough games. But even then, the trade's probably defensible because you're just trying to help out your rookie quarterback. I never would have thought the issue would be like he's been dropping this many passes. You know what I mean? And so it's like it's a concentration thing. It's a focus. It's like,
but it's a chemistry thing
it's
too.
Being a Bear.
It's a chemistry thing too, though.
No, when a football is in the air and your job is to catch it, and you've done it as good as the best in the game for a long period of time, it's not chemistry. Footballs that are catchable, catch them. You know what I mean? Like, I want to overthink it. I want to overthink this. Let's not overthink this. The footballs that are catchable for a guy that has done it as good as the best in the game for a long period of time, catch the ball. That's why you're here.
I mean, he's getting paid $20 million. So
the money's not. If he was getting $2 million or $25 million or whatever,
you gotta catch the ball.
Sure, but I do think, at least, I don't know. New area, new team, and also when you're not I'm making excuses, Briggs. Briggs, I got it. I'm making excuses for him, but I do think, like, physically, when you're not right, somehow it's seeped into his mental or something.
Okay,
but to Lance's point, man, and it's like I don't even care if these guys ever even talk about the rookies. This is the NFL. If you're Caleb, you have to hit that shot. Or was it Keenan, I think, came wide open? Or was it Keenan or Rome? Whoever, wide open, man. He's got 3 steps on the corner going towards the end line. That's got to be a touchdown 10 out of 10 times. It's the NFL. If you're Keenan Allen, I don't care what part of the career, catch the ball. Catch the ball.
Right. But listen, you might not get one DB that's going to bite on a double move on you at this point of your career. But if the ball is in the area of your hands, catch it.
But then
Karan Amagaji, okay, you played in the Ivy League 5 minutes ago. Get the hell out of your stance and kick back. And you can't get blown by that easily, man.
And Roma Dunze, when you're in the end zone, I know that you were catching all of these touchdowns at Washington and UW. Do it here, please. Getting my son your jersey for Christmas.
Rome, 7 targets, 2 catches. Keenan, 13 targets, 6 catches. DJ Moore caught the ball when it's sent to him, 8 out of 8. Cole Kmet was 1 for 1. DeAndre Swift was 1 for 1. Tyler Scott, my guy, 1 for 1. Off the beautiful hands of Tyson Bagent.
Let's get to a couple super chats here real quick, because I know we got some
100% catch rate for Tyler Scott
all season long.
I mean, 100% completion rate for Bajan tonight. $200 super chat here from Professor Gregory P. Allen Braggs II.
My guy.
He said, text a Packer and Vikings friend to let me have. They said, no, it's not fun anymore. They actually tried to build me up. You could make a leap next year. Chin up, bro. This team needs to be relegated to the CFL. So we can pick a new team. Being pitied is a new low.
Well, yeah, I mean, Jason Kelsey said during the halftime show that the Chicago Bears need to prove that they belong in the NFL. And
okay, I think he was meaning like the players need to
I don't
prove
care
it,
what he
but
meant.
the way it came out was still
right, because then all the fans were like, that's true. We should relegate them to the CFL for next year. It's just embarrassing, man. It's sad. It's sad.
Let's get one more $200 super chat in here. Then we got Corey Wootton standing by. Mag D23, not only a bad football team, but a dumb one. 7 playoff appearances the last 31 years. The owner is Fredo Corleone. I thought this year with this QB would be different, but we are going to ruin him. 10 losses in a row, followed 2 years later with at least an 8-game losing streak. FML.
And really, it was 14 losses in a row.
George does have a little Fredo in him. That's not completely off. I mean, George just wasn't as thirsty for some credit as Fredo was, but George and Fredo, I think they both like to have a good time, hang out. All right, should we bring in Woot?
Yeah, after we thank a couple of sponsors here, going into our segment with Corey Wootton, and that includes Sunnyside. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary is here to elevate your winter. Sunnyside is your home for judgment-free cannabis shopping. They have a crazy selection with over 100 different strains to choose from with an easy online ordering process and in-store pickup. You can shop the store nearest you throughout Illinois for expert guidance from their staff or select from quality lines like Cresco or FloraCal. And right now, through the end of the month, Sunnyside's Scratch and Stash is back again this holiday season. Receive a scratch-off card every time you shop now through December 31st or while supplies last. Every card is a winner. You could win big, like 50% off or $100 off your next purchase. Hurry in to see what you win. Visit Sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
Woot coming up, and things are getting weirder with some stuff coming out of the Bears locker room. We'll update you on that. But first, Gregory, ComEd, our friends, can help businesses save money by becoming more energy efficient.
I didn't know ComEd did that. Did you know that, Lance? No.
Well, Lance and Greg and Adam, it's true. It's the energy efficiency program that can help find up to 35% in energy savings.
Wow. So what does a business have to do?
Just sign up for a free facility assessment at ComEd.com/biz.
Well, why aren't more businesses doing it, you sweet bippy?
It is a trick question over there. Maybe they forgot the website, ComEd.com/biz.
ComEd.com/biz.
ComEd.com/biz. They got it now. Terms and conditions apply. Offers are subject to change. Actual savings will vary by customers' energy usage and rate. The ComEd Energy Efficiency Program is funded in compliance with state law. As we bring in Woo, can I just read you this tweet from Courtney Cronin, Hoge? This is bizarre. People were talking about Jalen Johnson having the C on his uniform, one of the Bears' 8 captains. How many captains?
Be careful going after Tony Medlin around here. Hey, man, you don't.
Woot.
You can go after a lot of people, but not Tony.
Well,
Don't mess with T-Med.
Jalen Johnson said he was unaware that he did not have his captain C on his jersey today when I asked him. He's one of 8 captains worn the C in every other game. Said he would need to talk to Bears equipment manager Tony Medlin for an explanation. I don't know if he's going at Tony Med.
Look, they have so many captains. They ran out of patches.
They could have. They definitely could have.
Ran out.
They definitely could have. And couldn't. Maybe it didn't get. Maybe it fell off. It wasn't stitched correctly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons.
Can't we go for the fun one that Thomas Brown is laying things down and taking away C's because we don't need 8 captains? That would be more fun. That's not it.
I would think it's more fun if like a rogue equipment manager was just like, no, you're not a captain this week. I'm not putting that on there. That would be more fun.
You wore that coat in here tonight, taking that C off.
Yeah, that'd be a tough situation right there. People be fighting in the locker room for that one, I think.
Right? Or what if he took? Listen, Corey, if you had a C, you were this whole week you're preparing for the game. And at the end of the game, you think you have a C on your patch, and they're like, hey, where's your C? And then when you go you say, I'm your head coach, you talk to me, I was like, oh, I forgot to tell you, you're not a captain anymore. Right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Forgot to tell you.
I don't think if they could report that on the media if that happened. You know what I mean? Yeah, somebody might end up in a body bag in the Hudson River. You know what I mean? No.
This is our players only segment. We're kind of adapting a little bit here today since we're in a little bit of a different formation.
Upgrade here. I'm a player.
Carm.
Thank you, Lance.
Tennis pro over here.
6'1",
He's a tennis.
Took down
player.
Alex Paz.
Yeah.
World-class tennis player, world-class golfer. Let's go.
yes.
Run it.
Can I ask the players the question I was going to ask them, please?
Yes. What do you want to ask me and Carm?
No. All right. So Braxton Jones, he practices all week and then comes in Sunday morning with concussion symptoms, which I've never heard of. Remember, they played last Sunday, so that's a whole week. Regardless, I find it hard to believe that he just didn't feel anything all week, and then all of a sudden it was Sunday, and they know it's from the last game. Whatever. My question is, the biggest problem with that to me is that you have a rookie in Karan Amagaji who didn't get the first-team reps all week then, if Braxton Jones was practicing. Mm-hmm. So, as players, what is your reaction, Lance, we'll start with you, to that situation? Okay. Is there a problem there at all? Maybe there's not.
All right, let's say this. Let me tell you this. The Braxton Jones situation comes off of the same week that a linebacker from the 49ers said that I don't want to go back in, okay, because of a linebacker situation. This happened in the same year that the first round quarterback from the Indianapolis Colts said I need to take a play off. Okay, it's not like this isn't happening. Like this is isolated issues. This is happening around. We have a Nate Davis, you know what I mean, that has all kinds of issues with practicing or being available to a team that's paying him top dollar. So it's not isolated. This issue that I see, it's not just Braxton. It's a group, an entire group of men that have been in an era. And I don't know what year it began, what year it ended, but it's an entire group. And I see a lot of guys that can dress their ass off. But I need you, but they don't show up on doggone Sunday.
No, I couldn't agree with you more. I think it's kind of hard, Lance, at this time of the season. We're not hitting like that. So how you gonna get a concussion? That's what I'm confused about.
Crazy
at this point in the year. So I think he's checked out, and maybe he didn't want to be there anymore. Maybe he doesn't want to play with the situation of the team in the locker room. I really don't know, because that's the strangest thing I've seen towards the end of the year, when you're not hitting, you're probably in soft shells and helmets to practice all week, and then say, I have concussion symptoms. Is he in Fight Club or something? Is there something I don't know?
Well,
I've never heard anything like that.
Well, I think the way it was explained is that he suffered the concussion in the game last week, but then they didn't figure out that he had those symptoms until later in the week. Isn't that correct?
He self-reported, Greg.
He self-reported on Sunday morning, a full week after the game.
Sunday, yeah.
After the game, a full week after.
Practiced?
Yes, and what I also practiced all week. And what I also find interesting is that the team couldn't wait to tell everybody this was from last week. Normally, you just say, remember the whole Trey Burton thing? The night before the playoff game, or 2 days before the playoff, whatever it was, and it was like, oh, he's all of a sudden got a groin, right? Was that what it was? But that's all he said. Like, there was no context. Like, it's interesting to me that they're like, oh, this is from last week. Because if you had just been like, he got added to the injury report with concussion symptoms that he reported this morning, everyone would have just been like, oh, so it happened in practice this week.
Right. Yeah. But if it did happen in the game, and then it took them all the way until Sunday to figure out that he had those symptoms.
But it didn't take the team a week to figure that out. He came in and he said, hey, I think I still have symptoms from a week ago. Okay.
So what would you be if you were, I don't know if the protocol was
if
the same.
I was Levy Smith.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know if
Greg is so confused by this, he can't figure it out.
So listen.
Oh yeah.
I might have had a concussion from watching this team this year.
Damn right.
So, but I'm just trying to understand then, what would you be saying to the coach then in terms of like what symptoms you're having?
There's not a symptom that I wouldn't have on Sunday that I didn't have throughout the week.
Correct.
There's nothing like there was something that wasn't right with me during the week. I'm not here to hide this stuff. You're in an era now where you don't hide it.
Correct.
I come from an era, and before me is an era where we could hide stuff. you're in an era now where you are taught not to hide these because it's too critical. It's too critical to hide, especially the brain. Why the hell would I wait the entire week to say, oh, man, I forgot to tell you I have some issues with my brain? Well, I forgot to tell you I'm going to fine you the maximum of what I can fine you for waiting until now. You know what I mean? Okay. Come on. You're an adult male. You know better.
If you were going to try to give him the benefit of the doubt, like let's just say for argument's sake, he had a mild headache, right? And he's hoping that it's going to go away. He doesn't want to report it. And then he gets to the end of the week. It hasn't gone away. Now he's like, oh, God, I got to go up against the Minnesota Vikings on Monday. I just don't feel like I can do it. You knew you had to face the Vikings all week. Yeah. Right. It's a bad job.
I'm not buying that at all. Like, I agree with what Lance is saying. In this day and age, right, you err on the side of caution. What they're showing about the brain studies and trauma and all that stuff, people are getting in front of things as opposed to waiting to the last second. So I don't buy that for 1 second.
I just wanted to try to be fair to his point of view or the potential that it was genuine, because we went through when Nate Davis said, I'm not playing 2 minutes before the Detroit or Minnesota game. And Nate Davis had missed out on the benefit of the doubt. And we knew in that moment he basically was giving a middle finger to the Bears. But Braxton Jones doesn't strike me as that type of person. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Braxton is not Nate Davis. Braxton, in any dealing I've ever.
That's not. Yeah, I agree, but
really
it's still a problem though if he was hiding it during the week, thinking it would go away, and then oh no, the day before the game, I can't travel to Minnesota, and now this rookie from Yale hasn't practiced all week. Like that. I guess the overall point here is even if there was no
malicious
intent, you didn't help your team.
You screwed the team.
Yeah,
you screwed. Like, there's no thought process that says, okay, this was the best way to go. There's nothing there. You know, I played with the Tommie Harris, and when he got hurt, he was the best D tackle in the game. All right, and he had his hamstring muscle ripped off the bone. Okay, did the splits right in front of me. Okay, when he came back. And we played. Matter of fact, we were playing the doggone Vikings, all right. And I'm watching the film. I'm watching it on the field, and I'm like, man, and I told him going into that week, I was like, maybe you shouldn't play this week because you're not looking that good in practice. Like, you're not moving that well, and it's not. You're probably going to hurt us more than help. No, Briggs, I got to be out there. Okay. Then he goes out. Of course, we get beat by the Vikings, and then watching him move. And as we go through and we review our film, it's take you out of the meeting room and Tommie, listen, we need for you to be real about yourself. Okay? Right now, you're not the Tommie of old, and right now you're maybe not all the way back. And you on the field hurts us more than helps us right now.
Right. Which speaks to the lack of leadership with the Bears, period.
Well, and the record this year with their concussions isn't that great either. You know,
can't figure it out.
But you can't if they're not reporting it. Sorry, we'll go ahead.
No, I mean, I think it's just a really weird situation, and I feel like the Bears in general, they've had a lot of concussions this year. Maybe they need to do some more neck exercises or something. Like supposedly that does well for concussions and stuff like that, but. Yeah, it's kind of sad because Brisker's been banged up for most of the year dealing with that, and then I just never have seen anything like that. Like waiting till the day before to say that, and then Amagachi kick sets or lack of kick sets, and that was that. Where was the technique? There was no technique at all, and the constant penalties. He had probably 4 penalties in the game. I mean, and then them leaving him on an island early on, I was just very, very surprised by that, especially when you got a rookie.
Yeah, to that point, the first one, the one where Caleb, I think we all thought was actually dead, that was so bad and so slow on a kick set that I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I was like, you know what? The back must have missed an assignment there and was supposed to chip. because he was so slow out of his stance, like he was almost expecting somebody to be there up the top, on the top to chip. I'm like, okay, like some way we're gonna find out post game. There's someone screwed something up there, and then it happened again, and there was no back there at all. So you knew that they might even been empty on that one, and you're like, oh, so that's just. He's that slow out of stance.
Yeah, well, I think as a tackle in general, when you're going off that silent count, especially your first time on the road, that crowd is rocking in Minnesota, probably nervous. You're naturally going to get off a little bit slower, especially his first time really, really being out there. So I think it was a combination of that. But literally, like there wasn't any kick steps. It was just turn and run and just off balance. And he did a couple good things in the run game at times, but yeah, he's definitely got to improve in the pass game for sure because there's some major inconsistencies in that technique.
Which real quick gets back to the practice thing because, and you guys know this, they'll get in that Walter Payton Center and they will blast that noise during the practice week as loud as they can to practice that silence count. And if you're not in there with the ones,
you don't get any experience with it.
You don't get any experience with that during the week. So Woot, any other final thoughts before we let you go? I mean, we were talking about Caleb earlier. We were kind of all in agreement that this might have been one of his worst games of the season.
Yeah, I think it was a tough game for him. Missed a lot of throws, and then I heard you guys talking about the receivers not helping him out when he needed them. There was a bunch of times where receivers were open, couldn't hit them, holding the ball a little too long. I think it's just been a tough situation. You're wondering, games like this really hurting him in the long run, especially if they can't get things figured out. It's just been a tough year to go 4-2 to now 4-10 at this point, losing 8 in a row. And then you see him on the sideline with his body language, and that's probably going to be a meme tomorrow where he's standing there like, on the sideline. So you never want
to be
that.
A meme of him laying down like Bear season.
So you never want that, but it's just so unfortunate. Like, how did we get to this situation right now? Right at 4-2, everyone thought, man, they're making the playoffs. They're doing this, and I know, there's some bad teams that they play, but they just look like a different ball club. And it's going downhill, and now guys are thinking about what their plans are on vacation. It's tough when you get to that point in the season. It really is.
We know that they're not allowed to go to any luxurious destinations, Woot, after this year, right?
Yeah, you got to rough it. You got to go to 1-star resorts, Motel 6, baby.
We're going to Galveston, or we're going to Quad Cities, or we're going up to.
We're going where Braggs grew up.
We're going to Gurnee. We're going to Great America in January.
No, we're going to Indiana by Braggs.
Yeah, there we go.
Come on by.
Let's get the pool out.
You can park in the cul-de-sac. You got free parking. Woot, great stuff, man. We appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see you back here on Sunday.
All right, you guys have a good one. Take it easy.
All right, brother.
Go to bed.
See you, Woot.
It's Corey Wootton. He'll be back. He'll be back in studio with us on Sunday as the Bears play. Oh no, maybe the best team in the league, the Detroit Lions.
So Thomas Brown said that Jalen Johnson is a captain still.
Thank God.
I assume that was a uniform malfunction situation.
It was on his Frank Lucas jacket. They put the C on the Frank Lucas.
Of course.
We have a break here, and I know you two like doing the Miller Lite thing so much.
Oh,
so
yeah, of course
it
I do.
occurred to me that maybe I should have let you do those honors.
Oh, man, I would absolutely love to. I know we got Nick Moreano coming up from Minnesota here in a little bit. But first, want to give a shout-out to our guys over at Miller Lite. That's right. A lot's changed over the years. One thing that hasn't, the great taste of Miller Lite. Another thing that hasn't changed is that it's less filling. So what is the best thing about original light beer? Well, Miller Lite sparked this debate in 1975 when Mark Carman was at the fresh age of 44 years old. And we still haven't settled the debate since. Great taste or less filling? Miller Lite keeps it simple. Undebatable quality, great taste. Only 96 calories. You don't have to choose what's best. Miller Lite has great taste and is less filling. Tastes like Miller time. To get Miller Lite delivered right to your door, visit MillerLite.com/CHGO football, or you can find it pretty much anywhere that sells beer. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories per 12 ounces. fewer calories and carbs than premium regular beer. Make sure you go get yourself some
Hey, we're also sponsored by our friends at the Chicago Sports Network, the new home for the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox games. CHSN will broadcast more than 300 live games per year across the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox, and will feature a full lineup of original Chicago-focused sports content. Are also Chicago-based, Chicago-built, Chicago to the core, and they're bringing it to every corner of Chicago across our 77 neighborhoods and beyond. At CHSN, Chicago comes first. Visit chsn.com for more information on how to watch the Bulls, Hawks, and Sox games all season long.
I know we got Thomas Brown audio to play for you. Real quick, though, I know we got some more big super chats.
Let's get them in.
I want to prioritize since I know we got some more big ones. Okay, Chevy, I know had $100 in there.
Bunch of hundreds.
Yeah, any of the 100 ones are good. Farming Bear.
Oh,
love Farming Bear.
Farming Bears just deserve so much better than what Farming Bear is getting.
Yeah, $100 super chat from Farming Bear. Did anyone get a drops count tonight? Seriously, how can any quarterback ever be comfortable between all the drops and pressure? I don't want a single coach back on this staff.
It's not an exact count, but Keenan was targeted 13, caught 6. That's 7. And Rome 2.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
You're giving Keenan Allen 7 drops?
Yeah.
There were some overthrows, too.
5. 3.
Overthrows still count as.
I understand.
I would say 3 drops probably for
There's at least 3. I
Yeah.
can think of 3 off the top of my head.
Rome had the one in the end zone.
That's 4.
And
You think it was only 4 drops tonight?
DJ's kind of got the 2-point conversion. That was actually legitimately knocked out of his hands, but that
It wasn't good.
answer way too many.
Yeah.
How about that? William Owens, $100. I repeat, why is DJ Moore being used like a running back? Why?
you know why.
Because they cut all the running backs.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
They did. They cut the fullback, and they use an offensive lineman and fullback, and that never really goes well. And
Good running backs don't grow on trees, buddy.
Yeah. And then now they use the number 1 wide receiver at running back.
Who, I'm trying to remember what guy that's going to be a part of our future. Who was that tonight taking back the kickoff for 29 yards? Travis Homer. Who was that on the punt return twice tonight?
Josh Blackwell.
Josh Blackwell.
What
I'm glad that we're not developing any players that we might need in the future on a 4-10 team. I think it's great that we're using Travis Homer as the kickoff guy. You know, it's awesome that the 3rd round pick, Velus Jones, is hanging out on the Carolina squad right now. I wouldn't have wanted to see if he could have become a player. I'm glad Travis Homer's getting his shot. That's good.
I don't want to see Velus. Yeah. I've seen enough of Velus as a Chicago Bear.
Well,
I bid him well. And I hope that whoever
how about
at the Panthers.
All right, how's this? I'll even grant you that. How about any other young player in the history of the NFL that's available right now? Can we do that versus some veteran that's got no chance of ever doing it?
I can rock with that.
Okay, now we're there.
I can't rock with Velus.
The Velus thing, you do need to stop with the Velus thing.
Yeah.
Because that would be the equivalent at this point of being like, I've seen Karana Magaji Caleb get hit 5 times. But he's a rookie, so we should keep playing him there.
No, not fair. Not fair. Velus averaged he was 3rd in the league last year kick returns.
I understand.
He fumbled the ball. He was giving the ball.
Ball security.
Yes.
The ball. It's in the hits principle. Don't you remember?
Right. He did the job.
The ball.
He did the job. This is we're Bears fans, and now you, Hoge, have officially entered the ridiculous zone. Velus was the kicker.
Did you just call me ridiculous? Hoge?
Yes, you are ridiculous because Velus last year did the job. Did he drop one last year and have it kick off his foot?
You can't trust him. You cannot trust him.
What can you trust on this team? Why does he get put in the no trust corner? Can you trust Keenan to do something? Can you trust anyone on the offensive line? Can you trust anyone on the defensive line to get to the quarterback? Who the hell can you trust around here? This guy was a very good kick returner last year. He made one damn ass mistake, and he had to bury his ass for a sad ass roster. That's ridiculous. You have no. They don't know what you were going nowhere. You could have. easily just made him inactive. You know that this is football. Guys get hurt. He averaged 9 yards a carry when you let him play running back.
Can I ask you a question? Are the Carolina Panthers that good?
We got it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does. Do they play him?
Dude, they've got Darrington Evans back here for the 100th time. Come on, man. Give me anybody with any youth of talent. I can't take it. I can't.
Bayless is close to retiring like me.
This reminds me of when I used to think Jason Caffey was going to be a great power forward for like 4 years with the Bulls.
Don't Jason Caffey, Bayless. If Jason Caffey was...
He had real potential. It just never worked out.
Undersized power forward who loved to get hammered.
But look, the genesis of your arguments on these things is not bad, but stop using retreads that aren't even playing for other teams. Here's a good argument for you. I'll hand it to you right now.
Oh, okay. Please, have me go.
I'm going to give it to you, and then you can restate it,
okay,
and then
great.
we'll clip it, and we'll be as Carm came up with the thought. Okay? No, put the camera on Carm. Okay, so here's what you're going to say. Instead of drafting Karan Amagaji, they should have drafted Dominic Hooney.
I made that argument.
Just say it.
Course.
Shut up and say it.
He was 6
No, Carm.
They should have drafted Dominic Pony. It's like, okay. Listen. The guy.
He's trying to save you.
The concepts when you go and I'm mad at myself because when I tried to be nice to the general manager and his drafts just made very little sense, and I was like the only one. I got screamed at on the show because I was like, you're taking a punter when you've got 4 picks.
Punter had a great game tonight.
Luxury pick. It was ridiculous. Corliss Waitman was in camp. I'm like, what's the difference between the left-footed punter and the right-footed? They're both booming the ball. You're going to waste a pick when your roster is this inept? It wasn't good. Not good. Sorry. All right. Go ahead. Move along.
There's a lot going on in the league that I'm trying to figure out too. You know, I mean, and beyond the players, the coaching in the league. Now we're in the league where, Kellen Moore, he steps away from football and into his first year he becomes the offensive coordinator. It's just really interesting. The Bears hire Matt Nagy when there was a Bieniemy who was the offensive coordinator. Now, maybe he didn't interview well, but he's still the offensive coordinator for a top producing offensive team. We grabbed Matt Eberflus, and you're telling me that even though that the Indianapolis coach, yes, they had a very good defense, but you're telling me that he was the most decorated defensive position coach in the league that we could have interviewed and said, okay, man, listen, this guy's got tenure. This guy's been somewhere. This guy's been through it. I know that this guy's been weathered and he can handle all of these situations. There are some things. Shoot, I played with the young man that ended up being the defensive coordinator and fired from the Eagles, and the year before he came over to the Bears, he was a surgeon and decided next year I'm going to be a football coach and became one right away with the Bears under Trestman. So it's to me, sometimes we wonder what's going on and why things aren't working.
Wait. Who was that went from surgeon to Trestman's DC? Or defensive coach?
Oh shoot! I'm trying to think of his name. Nick.
I'll pull that up right now. That's
you'll find it. He was a linebacker assistant for us. Moved up. He ended up being a defensive coordinator for us.
Oh, you're thinking of Sean Desai.
Sean Desai.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, because Sean started as quality control and trust. Now, at least in his case, though, he worked his way up over multiple regimes. Before they made him DC.
Listen, but he was with me in 2014 as the linebacker assistant. He was the defensive coordinator within the next couple of years for the Bears. Then he went over to the Eagles and became the defensive coordinator there and was fired. My problem with Sean Desai isn't Sean Desai. Listen, I love the guy, but I know players that are out there. I know Chris Harris deserved that job more than Sean Desai. Chris Harris was out on that field. I know Chris Harris, and he's a hell of a smart football player and coach. He deserved that job more than Sean Desai, who decided after 1 year, you know what, I don't want to be a surgeon. I want to be a football coach. And all of a sudden, he got the job. There are guys that would die for these opportunities, that have bled for all of that, you know. And my biggest question when I saw Sean Desai the first time I saw him, I said, I need you to turn tape on before you coach me. I need to see that you played this game before you say anything to me that I'm going to believe and run through a wall, because I got to run through a brick wall for you. You're a coach, right?
This is just funny listening to you talk about. Decided not play college football. Thank you, Wikipedia. Instead, attending Boston University with the intention of becoming an orthopedist. He graduated 3 years with a double major in philosophy and political science and a minor in biology, and gained his first exposure to coaching by returning home some weekends to volunteer as an assistant coach for his younger brother's freshman football team. Hey, go in there, tell Lance Briggs what to do. I mean, I get it. I get it.
And you want to wonder why there's issues. Guys are getting these jobs too fast. They're moving up too fast. And a lot of it is money related, and you're missing out on details. I watch our linebackers play, and I see us missing out on details. Now I'll hand it to you. I might be a hard ass on TJ last week, but TJ is playing his ass off. He played his ass off tonight, and through the fire, there are some bright lights, and I will say TJ is certainly playing with an attitude, with a chip on his shoulder. But there are details that are missing. And to me, the details are missing because you don't have a coach like Bob Babbage, because you don't have Ron Rivera's all over the place.
Right.
There are Lovie Smiths. There are people that are missing out there, and these other guys have the job and they're not doing it extremely well.
Well, I mean, and when you talk about culture, you're talking about culture, right?
Absolutely.
You're talking about the way players are going to respond, and this is going to get to our bigger discussion as this end of the season continues, trying to figure out the right coach for this team, but it's your coaching staff too. It's not just your head coach.
Not just the head coach.
And, Dan Campbell, obviously a former tight end, players coach, leader of men,
Hell
all those
yeah.
buzzwords, but look at the rest of their coaching staff as well. You've got JT Barrett, Mark Brunell as quarterback people that understand offensive line, Hank Fraley.
Yeah.
Ring a bell.
We know him.
You know what I mean? Antoine Randall L.
Yep,
wide
we
receiver
know him.
coach. He's been through it. Aaron Glenn.
We know him.
Defensive coordinator. You have a few other people here. Deshae Townsend.
We know him.
Defensive back.
Please talk into your microphone.
Yes, sir.
No, you did that 6 times in a row before I said anything.
But Carm's been doing it the whole show. You didn't tell him anything. So be quiet while I go on my
bus
rant.
toss teammate.
I just bus tossed him. Just shut up.
I
was making a good point. And if I say it in the
Yeah.
mic or out of the mic, it's still a good point. Right, Briggs?
Damn right.
That's right. Briggs and Bragg show.
We don't need microphones, but we have good points.
Greg
Exactly.
is forever an 8-year-old kid. But she got to play with Legos, and I didn't.
That's not what I said.
That is what you said. You're an 8-year-old forever. And by the way, don't change. That's great that you're forever.
You know what,
the
though?
8.
It was a good point because the Lions have built that coaching staff. On a lot
But that
of
is why it's
sports.
important. If you're going to hire a Ben Johnson, which is fine, you got to make sure you have on the rest of your coaching staff
There we go.
coaches that understand the game and can respond to the players and relate to the players on the battles that they're going through.
I'm with you.
Details,
yeah.
man.
And by the way, the Bears have had multiple chances they could have hired Chris Harris.
Yeah.
Multiple.
Yes.
But didn't he interview last year?
Yeah, he did.
And they went with Eric Washington.
Yep.
Dude does talk a good game, Eric Washington. Let me tell you. I know that's
They
Wood's
played
guy.
harder tonight. They still gave up 30 points. All right, should we hear the interim head coach that everybody's yelling at me about for probably good reason? Thomas Brown, here's what he had to say after the Bears lost to the Vikings.
Better be talking into the mic.
Obviously disappointing again just with the result. Kind of what I just saw the guys in the locker room, myself in particular, was not good enough for the entire group. Wanted to be aggressive going into the game, was kind of a point of emphasis for our unit to kind of be able to stay on the grass and make some plays. Backfire early. Defense, I thought, battled their butts off, put us in really good spots and kept us in the game for the most part. I thought special teams also played particularly well. But, when you end up having 9 penalties, you're one of 12 on third down. makes it very difficult to stay on the grass, sustain drives, and just too many players kind of end up biting us in the butt. So, questions?
Thomas, what's your understanding of what happened with Braxton yesterday and then the shuffle that it caused for you guys tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I was just told he reported symptoms on Sunday morning, and so obviously got ruled out from there.
The decision to play, you could have played a veteran or a rookie. Why go with?
Well, I have confidence in his ability. I think being able to have an opportunity to work him in that spot, he kind of been rotating the last few days and weeks also behind Braxton. So it's more about just the spot play on the left side.
Why was the passing game so limited as far as downfield in the first half?
Well, throw the ball down the field, got to protect. So that obviously affects some stuff that you do. I think being able to also understand what this defense does as far as disguising and pressuring. Like very similar to the first game, you can't make a living trying to chuck the ball down the field when they create so many turnovers. And even on the third down where we had a strip sack, it was a 3rd and 8, tried to hold the ball a little bit longer. So those kind of deter you from wanting to take shots down the field.
With Kramer with the reporting issue, what was your view from the sideline? What was your understanding?
Yeah, I mean, normally when he reports in the game, his back is turned to me, so I can't always tell if he does or he doesn't. I think if there was some indecision, I could have just called a timeout, save it, and got back in the huddle. So I'll put that on myself.
Thomas, did you have a view on the strip sack, on what happened there?
Just got beat.
Thomas, Jalen didn't have a captaincy patch. Is he still a captain?
Jalen? Of course he is, yep. Yep, he's a captain, yep.
Here?
I didn't even see it, so I can't speak on that. But he's definitely a captain. He's in every captain's meeting, and it's a guy that speaks for our group a lot. Actually did a really good job on, I guess, Saturday's practice after we kind of broke it down. So let him kind of get in the middle and did a great job of delivering a Tommie message. So he's definitely a captain on and off the field for us.
What's your frustration level with the 4th downs that didn't convert?
I'm frustrated with all of it. I think just trying to find ways to put us in better spots, design some better plays, call better plays, we can execute them better. So anytime we're not able to stay on the grass and move the ball and score points, I'm going to be frustrated. So about the same as I am with everything else.
There's still 3 games left. It feels like a team that doesn't have a lot left in the tank. How do you get them across the finish line of January 6th?
I would disagree with you. I think if you watch the tape, our guys battled into the very end. So I think saying that we don't have a lot left in the tank alludes to our guys quit. And I didn't see that at all on tape. So I think our guys will continue to battle like they've been battling. I'm continuing to fight for them and stay behind them. And so we'll go back to work.
Back-to-back really lopsided losses. That's why I make that judgment. You disagree that you guys still have the ability to compete with these teams?
Again, I would challenge you to go turn the tape on and see who didn't play hard or didn't finish. I think it's more about me putting us in better spots on offense to execute and stay on the grass better, and obviously the defense will continue to make strides.
You guys went into the locker room at halftime scoreless for the 3rd time in 3 games.
Yep.
I know if you could put your finger on it, you'd fix it. But
1,000%. Yep.
But do you have a sense of what's contributing to all that?
The sense I got to be better. So put us in better spots, make better plays. That's the sense I have.
There's just some throws that Caleb makes where it feels like he's got a one-on-one opportunity and they're misfired by 4 or 5 feet. How do you get him in a mindset of being able to put balls where they can be more 50-50 opportunities and give some of these guys a chance?
I think it's not a one-size-fits-all answer to that question, just because it may be different between the rush, the coverage that he's facing as well. But just trying to find ways to find a matchup to exploit, but also protect the QB long enough we can stand in the pocket, feel firm, stay on his back foot, and deliver, like you said, a 50-50 opportunity ball for some of our guys.
When you report with an O-lineman eligible, is it someone's responsibility to make sure he checks in? Is that like...
he checked with the ref.
Oh, he did? Or
well,
I know he checked
normally,
with the ref.
Yes, that's what normally happens.
But is there a coach on the sideline or anybody who's supposed to keep an eye on that?
Supposed to. I think we keep an eye on everything that happens before and after the snap. We have a lot of guys delegate to different areas of the field. Like I said, if it was in question, I could have just called a timeout to save it and get us back in the huddle and have the same play call. So,
the pass rushers back there right away. What's realistic to expect from Caleb in that situation?
For him, I mean, he can't see the ball, can't see the defender coming, so I can't expect him to be able to have eyes in the back of his head. I think obviously being on the road, the noise does have an effect when it comes to guys getting off on a snap versus us not. But let's just be better in that situation. Also, I can do a better job of calling better play with the ball and come out faster versus holding on to it. That'll help out too.
The challenge of getting Carman ready first career start on the road, not a lot of prep time and short notice, obviously, when he knows he's going to be
I mean, I think he's been prepping the entire time. I think as far as being in meetings, he's been rotating, like I said before, splitting reps with Braxton. So just more about thinking about if we had to make some adjustments late in the game, just myself on the call sheet making some notes about max protect and those type of things. So, but he's a tough dude. He's going to be a really good player. He's still a good player for us right now. So he'll get better. We'll all get better. I'll get better. I appreciate it.
All right. Let's put one thing to bed right away. It is the player's responsibility to report eligible. Okay. The head coach cannot walk out there holding the player's hand and be like, hey, referee, he's eligible. That's on the player. What I find notable in there, though, is twice in that press conference, Thomas Brown still puts some blame on himself for it, despite that, saying, I'm the head coach. You know, at the end of the day, I can always call timeout if there's any confusion over it. But I guess what I'm getting at is, look, Thomas Brown's not going to be the next head coach of Chicago Bears the way they're playing so far under him. But this is how it should have been under Matt Eberflus when this stuff would come up. Because I can't help but think about what Thomas Brown comes out of the gate in that press conference right away being like, yeah, I wasn't good enough. I tried to be aggressive early on in the game, and it backfired. Like, he was specific, and he put the blame on him. He gets asked a couple times about his players screwing up, and he puts the blame on himself. That's how it should have been under Matt Eberflus, and it wasn't. So, look, it doesn't change the results. They're still losing under Thomas Brown. I get it. Everything else we said in the show still applies. But you do wonder how things could have been different had the last head coach just handled situations like that, like Thomas Brown just did.
I with every word that I utter about me taking the blame for a situation like reporting as Doug Kramer didn't do, and every other situation, the drops, the overthrows, like steam is building. And when I get on the field with my players, each and every one is going to hear about this. Like, we're going to have a conversation, like, we're going to talk about this, you know, and I'm going to talk about the missed opportunities that we had in the game and why we lost and the difference of those plays. If you catch this, that's a difference of 160 yards. That's extended plays. That's a touchdown or a field goal. All right. And if you look at all the missed opportunities that we had in here, had you have caught this ball, had you had made this throw, had you have been downhill, had you have gotten off a block and made this tackle, had you have hold on to that interception, we are in a completely different situation here. But I want you to understand all of the missed opportunities that we had there. There were enough opportunities for us to win the game, and we didn't seize it.
Yeah. It just
I got no problem with anything Thomas Brown's doing.
No, that's what I mean. Like,
but he's just climbing too far uphill.
He's ice skating uphill.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
It's a tough thing. We do have Doug Kramer and what he had to say. Now, again, how this should work is coach takes blame for player, but player still has the microphone in front of him, and then he, is like, yeah, no, I need to. So we'll hear. I don't know what Doug Kramer said.
He's going to own it.
Yeah, here he is.
Yes. Forgot to report, ran on the field. Clock was running down, we got in the huddle and ran the play. And it's an unacceptable mistake. So obviously I apologize to all my teammates, everyone on the offense. Things like that can't happen. And it's 100% my error.
When you saw the flag, was there a moment where you went, oh no, or did you realize while the play was going on, did I report, or when did it occur to you?
No, when they threw the flag, obviously I was like, it's 100% me. So yeah.
Did anybody tell you before going in, Doug, to remind you to report, or did you just kind of go into the field?
Obviously we've been doing it all year, so unfortunately it just slipped my mind, and I ran out there and didn't do it, so it's tough.
How hard was it to watch the stretch that happened, those couple of plays after that?
yeah, obviously it's difficult. Goal line plays, especially when you're that low on the goal line, are huge plays or scoring plays. So you just can't make mistakes like that. Those are, those kill you. So it's the NFL. You need every point you can get, and again, like those are errors that you just can't make and win games in this league.
Doug, is that just part of this whole losing streak? It just seems like everything's dragging everything else down. It seems. I mean, that play just seems like that's kind of the way it's been going this season. Something you're used to doing, you just didn't do.
Yeah, I think so. Like, I mean, each game is different. But yeah, obviously it's difficult when. I mean, listen, all I can say is it was my mistake that I made, and yeah, obviously we've had other games where things like this have happened, and it's disappointing, but I think you really have to learn from these sorts of errors, and just try to continue to grow and get better.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Yay, Dougie.
It sucks that we even have to get down to the nitty gritty on this, because it's just. I want to have a serious conversation about this and ask you, Lance, because okay, first of all, it's football. Okay, coaches are gonna F up, players are gonna F up, things are gonna happen. That one that sucks, but okay, you forgot to report eligible. If you handle these things that way, where again, coach doesn't throw a player under the bus, kind of unnecessarily puts some blame on himself too in the situation, but then the player goes straight up, no, I screwed that up. That's 100% on me. It's unacceptable. I apologize to my teammates. All that. What is the effect of that when it operates like that over time? Can there just be more accountability across the board in a building?
No,
or am I overrating this whole thing?
No, with this team, it's like when it rains, it just pours, man. I don't know if I've even experienced this much. It's just topple after topple, so much, and it's hard, man. I don't get it. I know that there's always the player that reports is the player that reports. Yeah. There's not a bunch of report players. You've got the guy that when we're in this situation, hey, you're the guy we want to be our report player. So you always go in and practice and you report.
Plus, he's not even on the field.
Right.
He's on the bench.
Right.
Even the fumble in Washington wasn't excusable either, but at least he got thrown in and he was playing on the offensive line.
And he's done.
Where you can at least be probably shouldn't have called that play because guy who normally doesn't play was playing on the offensive line.
He's done it so many times.
So at least you had an excuse there. This time you're just on the sideline. You got to report when you go in the game. You know that.
You know better.
I know you want to have a serious conversation about this, but I mean, come on. This Doug Kramer is the poster child of the 2024 Bears. In the Washington game, they finally get their offense going, and here comes our guy, the enigmatic Shane Waldron.
That's not Waldron, though.
Yeah, exactly. And Waldron is a huge part of the 2024 Bears. And what does Shane decide to do? Let me hand it to 68 because we're going to go William Perry 85 and just throw him into the end zone. And the ball is not even going to make it into his belly before it boners out into the
what?
I don't know.
Blue chews out.
Bounces out.
Squirts out. Whatever you want.
Stop talking.
A lot of things. A lot of words coming out of your mouth right now.
I mean, unbelievable that play. And now
Blues called it God's play. The package God's play.
Yeah.
It is if it's an exodus, mass exodus when the season's over.
It's late night. It's 11:38. We can and now to bookend it, 8 losses in a row later. We're trying to get a score on Monday Night Football in front of the nation, and they finally get it in the end zone, and they're sort of in the football game. And no, the same guy who got the handoff that never got the handoff didn't report his one job to do, which is what you were just looking at. I don't like, and hey, I'll raise my hand. I forget things all the time. I'll pull out of the gas station with whatever, the cap on my hood, my phone. I nearly didn't make it on the London trip because I lost my phone at the top of my hood, parking the car. I'll do all these things. However, I don't know, NFL player coming into the game, job is to report. I think I'd probably remember to report. I think I would, and he just didn't, which ILL.
One job. You had one job.
I mean, Doug Kramer, when they literally should do the yearbook for this, and he should be on the cover with Waldron. A nice guy. Good hard working guy. I'd like to see him play more center.
I feel like some of the holdback, because really you should be coming right out, man. Like, yo, that was my F up. Like, I listen, guys, I F that up. That's my job. I had one job, but I feel like some of the holdback is, well, I mean, I could be playing. You know, there are other teams listening, and I don't want to stop playing football, and I could be playing for another team.
Right.
Well,
I don't think anyone's signing him as a fullback at this point.
It's not going well. It's not going well.
I mean, we really figure out the formula over here.
I don't
Well,
know.
Farming Bear is a $100 super chat where he says, biggest fear, quicksand. If you know, you know. So, like, have you guys ever seen The Replacements? The movie The Replacements with Keanu Reeves? You've seen it? Have you seen it? Yeah. Carm hasn't seen it. I guarantee it. He just watches.
Great electric
right. And so quicksand, you know, it's just one thing after another with this team. And that's what I was talking about with the offense, like with the drops. It's if the quarterback's not making the right throw, then the receiver's not making the catch. And if the receiver and the quarterback have got to figure out, the offensive line has holding. And if the offensive line and everybody executes properly, then somebody doesn't report. And it's just one thing after another. And that's what the quicksand mark of a bad football team is. It just continues to pile on top of each other to the point where you're now buried in a hole, suffocating, trying to have your last breath before you die.
Good for him, though. He could have dodged out of there, been the first guy to the locker
100%.
room. He good.
No, I respect
because I think we have some Keenan Allen audio too in video, so we can play that too. I mean, two guys that stood up to the media after having bad performances, so that much you can give credit for.
Yeah, let's go ahead and play Keenan Allen, who played football tonight.
I already set it up. You didn't have to reset it up.
Just didn't execute. Played with bad technique. Played outside of myself. Worked hard to be ready for this game the whole week. Didn't know I was going to be the starter the whole week, but I prepared like it. Just didn't play within myself when it mattered most.
What are the challenges that come with not finding out until late in the week that you're going to be the starter?
Just no real challenges. I have no excuses. I got better.
What was the process you went through over the last 30-some hours when you found out you were going to start?
I already prepared like I'm going to play every week. But just made sure I was on my P's and Q's. Was locked in with the game plan. Like I said, just didn't execute.
How did that early strip sack affect the rest of your game? As much as you wanted to kind of keep it out of your mind, how much did that kind of set a tone?
It didn't really. I'm good about just kind of letting things go in game. I reset on and kind of played each play as its own, so it didn't really affect me.
This season in general, how tough was it to come in with no preseason, not really any offseason, either being hurt the whole time? Do you feel like that kind of stunted your growth a little bit?
I wouldn't say stunted my growth. I would just say, I'm just like everybody. I'm just trying to get better every day. Had a later start than everybody, but I was drafted for a reason. I'm here for a reason. Just got to play better when it's needed.
At what point did you find out that you were going to be starting?
I found out yesterday.
This defense is obviously a challenging defense. How hard is it for you to step in for the first start against a group like this?
Yeah, I mean, they're a great group, but, like I said, I was prepared. I was locked in on the game plan. There was nothing that confused me or no looks that I didn't know what I was doing. Just got to play better.
Keenan, on that sack fumble, is it by design to have you isolated against that left end, or are you supposed to have help from the running back on that play after you went back and reviewed it?
No, it was I was one-on-one. just got to execute.
Brian, you had the excitement of your first NFL start, but the way the game went obviously wasn't very good. What's the prevailing emotion you're feeling after a game like that? Where you start your first game, but obviously it doesn't go as well. What's your emotion right
I mean, we lost, so I don't have many positive emotions. Just good, happy that I was able to make my first start, but not satisfied by any means.
Did you have anything you can hang your head on, a play, anything you did, or anything that you can kind of take into next week?
Sorry, what'd you say?
Was there anything you did tonight you feel like you can kind of hang your head on and say, this was good, this was something to build on, or was it just kind of a wash?
I think in the second half, in the fourth quarter, kind of settled in the sense of just kind of got more on time with the snap count. I think that was my big issue in the first half. I was kind of laid off the ball. Second half, I was a little bit more in tune in the snap count, and I was a little bit more successful.
Karan, does Caleb say anything to you throughout the game, keep you encouraged with the next drive, the next opportunity, next play? Did that happen at any point?
Everybody on that sideline is very supportive. Everybody was keeping me in the game, keeping me up, and just trying to help me along the way.
Thank you. Oh, tough times in that locker room right now.
Karan's a really good guy. I'm rooting for him, and just not ready to be a starting left tackle in the NFL yet. I mean, it's just a tough lift.
They faced the music. Coach took accountability. Players took accountability. It's not hard. It's a little expectation, but something we haven't seen over the last few years. So if we're going to complain about it when those things aren't happening, we can certainly give credit when they do.
100%, which is kind of why I wanted to highlight it. Also, they've lost 8 straight games. So it's like they're still losing. I don't know what to say anymore. We do have more from the locker room right now as we go inside the locker room with Nicholas Moreano. Sorry, I'm laughing at that comment from Ralph. Chin up, kid. You'll be the Bears GM before you know it.
Comment of the
day.
Nick. Did you see the future GM in Keenan Allen when you drafted him?
Can't say that I did, Mark. But hey, that might be based off. No. I mean, look, this is his first career start. It's a tough defense, but man, was it a rough day. And we just played the interview. You saw his demeanor out there. He took accountability for it. He knows he could have played better, and it doesn't help that he got word that he was going to be the starter just yesterday. Yes, you're supposed to always prepare like you're going to be the starter, but I don't know, Lance. You could probably speak to this, knowing that you're going into a game as the guy that's going to be out there. I think he's going to help you more so than knowing the day before and going up against one of the top defenses in the league that brings pressure like no other.
This is the moment I've been waiting on my entire life. So I got drafted, and now the coaches are saying that the guys that are in front of me are better than me, and I know that I'm better than them. And so on Sunday, before we play the Packers in December, I get a call, or as I get to the locker room, they say, hey, listen, Braxton's down, you're up. I could not have asked for a better opportunity to play the game that I love. Are you kidding me? I don't need to have a week of practice to kick that guy's ass that's in front of me. I've been waiting for this all of my life, and I'm going to seize this moment, and you guys are going to keep me as a starter, and I'm going to be a part of this offensive line moving forward. I'm going to have everybody talking about me as wow, why didn't we have this guy playing earlier? Again, that there aren't very many guys that get this opportunity and get this moment.
Hey, Nick, so we played Doug Kramer. We heard from Keenan Allen. We heard from Thomas Brown. I know you got to talk to Jalen Johnson as well. And there were some some conversation about his, he didn't have the captain patch on his jersey, which apparently was just a mistake. It didn't get stitched on this week because Thomas Brown made it clear he's still one of the captains. But what do we need? What else do we need to know from the locker room?
Yeah, let's start with that. Yeah, because Jalen Johnson seemed confused. He's like, "Wait, what the hell? I didn't have the C on my chest." And then he, was about to go down and look for his jersey. He couldn't quite get it based on his position, but he's like, "Oh, I haven't talked to Little T, Tony Medlin, who's been on the Bears for forever." So then he's like trying to shout out, "Where's Tony at?" So yeah, I think that was just by mistake. Jalen Johnson's still a captain on this team. I'll say this. Obviously, he's been a part of. I feel like every game we always say he's been a part of many losing teams, and that is the case. But his mood, like we've seen him after games where obviously he's really frustrated. He's tired of these losses. It's not that he's not frustrated, but he was in a decent mood today. When he was asked, like, it feels like there's not a lot left in the tank. And then Jalen pushed back on the questions, like, what makes you say that? And then I think it was Dan Weeder who asked the questions, like, well, it wasn't very competitive. Jalen's like, well, it felt like we competed, just didn't execute as well. And then Deion Miller asked, like, well, why are you at this point, week 15, still not executing? He's like, I don't know. I don't know. You can look after the fact and say that you didn't execute, but it just wasn't the same, like, man, this loss really hurt Jalen Johnson the way that we've seen. And maybe just because at this point, now this is 8 straight. And again, this is not to be construed as like Jalen Johnson doesn't care, because that could be furthest from the truth, because he's probably one of the most caring person on this team about what the result is. But just seemed like he was in a better mood, kind of put things into perspective. Like, we all go through adversity. Matt Zahn asked him a question: how do you keep yourself, motivated? He's like, well, have you ever been through adversity? He's like, I do it the same way. Like, I'm going to go through this, compartmentalize it, go back home, spend time with the family, and then, get back to work as he usually does. So it was interesting to kind of see this side of Jalen Johnson after seeing, the sometimes where you can clearly tell he's short with his answers, stern with what he's saying. And this one was, I don't know, again, a little bit more positive, but again, he still cares. I think he's just tired of the losses at this point.
Sure, understandable. You had a chance to talk with DeAndre Swift. I'm just curious what he had to say in the beginning of the game. Obviously, the pivotal 4th down. It just felt like those first couple series where they couldn't get the 4th down conversion were definitely played a big part in getting any kind of momentum to make this game competitive.
Yeah, with Swift, again, I mean, I feel like the buzzword or the easy answer for a lot of this, just the execution on the play, right? And that was not only for that play, but there were a couple of 4th and 1s where just for whatever reason, there were guys laid off the snap or couldn't get pushed up front to where it could allow Swift or whoever was back there to, take advantage of those plays. But, it reminds, man, I think it kind of was reminiscent of the game against the Colts where, he got the pitch and, it was kind of obviously like, what more can he do in that moment? So it kind of brought back those vibes of that play call and, how it was a lack of execution. And, like DJ, like I asked him a question about like when one of your teammates goes out there and forgets to report, like, do you say anything? Does anybody say anything on the sideline? And he's like, you just got to do what you got to do. And that didn't get done. And again, lack of execution. So I wonder what it would have actually been like in the huddle or even on the play, seeing like that touchdown get taken away, because it was a weird pause in the stadium because none of the offense, they were just kind of looking, and then obviously the flag there, or there's a pause and they announce on the intercoms here, failed to report. And 2 plays later when Doug Kramer's back in there, like there was just an extra emphasis from the officials. Number 68 has reported as eligible, just so everybody was made aware. But yeah, just a disappointing play for not only Doug Kramer, but the entire offense there.
Nick, if you dropped a random person into the Bears locker room after the game, would they have been able to tell that this team lost?
Yeah, well, actually, yeah, no doubt. It's just quiet in there, Mark. Like this, I'll be completely honest. Like Minnesota's locker room, they have the offense to one side, and then as you kind of go further down to the locker room, it turns into the defense. It didn't seem like a cemetery in there. Like to be completely honest, like last week. Last week was worse for sure, but I'm trying to remember what the last winning locker room we were both actually in, Mark. That was in London. That was a long time ago. I kind of forgot what that was like to even be in that kind of atmosphere. But yeah, if you were to just drop some random person, it's like, okay, these guys don't want to be here. It's quiet, and it's time to go home.
I would tell you the London locker room was very matter of fact. They weren't celebrating big time at all.
Yeah.
But it just has been noticeable to me that they've just it seems like the team's winning when I'm out there during the week, and I'm wondering what it was like after a game. So you're saying that you could tell. Okay. Fair enough.
Nick, anything else from the locker room before we let you go?
Bro, I mean, I know you guys didn't get a chance to play Caleb, right? Like you didn't hear anything that he had to say.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So I had a couple of notes just listening back to what he said. First, he was asked just how he's doing physically because there were some shots that he took. One, maybe holding the ball too long, but also his offensive line didn't help. But did mention that he does definitely have a couple of bruises, and said that maybe he could just do a better job throughout the week of hydrating and also recovering, just so he can be able to when he gets these hits, sustain and recover more effectively. So he did allude to that. He was also asked, actually, I asked him about, in his press conference at one point, he said that Brian Flores was doing some unique things, didn't bring all the blitzes that maybe they were anticipating, but said that he, played some unique defenses. And I asked him just, how do you think you saw the field? Because I'm looking forward to watching back there. It seemed like there was there were open receivers that maybe Caleb just didn't hit, didn't see, didn't throw the ball to. And Caleb said that he did get Brian Flores did get him a few times, especially in that first quarter. He said that, yeah, he got me. And then he said after he went through the tablet, said he started to figure some things out. We'll learn from, what this defense presented to him so that he could take this to whatever defense is going to throw these same looks at him. But once he said he figured out those wrinkles, he felt like he was throwing the ball better, seeing the field better, and that he'll put it in his memory bank and make defenses pay for the next time he has to face those types of defenses.
Okay.
Well, I hope hydrating.
We'll see.
I hope hydrating helps him get rid of the ball faster.
Easy fix. Drink more water. We got this.
I mean, I say this.
Cures bruises.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely need to drink more water.
How was Vanilla Ice?
Oh man! So look. Right in the very beginning, there was this loud microphone malfunction where it just popped and everyone's like, "Whoa!" And then it happened again. But you know what? Credit to Vanilla Ice. He persevered through the adversity, and then was able to finish, the performance. But it was rough sledding in the beginning. But he was able to finish strong there. But yeah, not to be completely honest, I went up, tried to get food. I don't know if you guys saw, I posted what looked like a delicious piece of cake. It was a crappy piece of cake. So just like, you look at these things, you think they're going to be great, like the Bears 2024 season, and then you take a bite into the cake or you watch these games being played, and then it ends up like this. And then I threw it away in the garbage, and now it's over. That would be the Bears season in 3 games. So,
like, I knew they were screwed when you got Randy Moss jerseys, obviously, with his cancer diagnosis. Everybody's got the Moss jerseys going on. And then Joe Mauer shows up. It's like, why does Joe Mauer have to be there? I mean, guy just crushed our White Sox for years and years and years. This just isn't going to go well. There's too many, too many dominant Minnesota athletes in the house. And the Gallarhorn and all that. Yeah, should have known.
It's true.
Yeah, Nick, great stuff. We'll see you back here in Chicago.
All right, you guys. See ya.
There he is, Nicholas Moreano. And you can read everything he has to write from US Bank Stadium at ALLCHGO.com, where you should become a diehard, too.
I mean, Vanilla Ice should become a diehard. The way what Nick just described, that guy would be perfect in our diehard family. By the way, we did pop into our Discord channel during halftime today, so shout out to everybody who was hanging out at halftime for a brief moment of time, and my guy Rodney Dent now.
And we've got 2 more tailgates to go here. This 6 days away on Sunday against the Lions. We're bringing heaters. We'll see. I mean, the weather was so nice today, we wouldn't even have needed them. There was like 60 degrees.
Will Santa's show up?
Well, who?
Santa's.
Santa?
So close to Christmas.
We could have Santa show up. You still got to ask for what you want for Christmas, Lance?
I would. I don't think I'm going to get it this year. Bears stink.
But if you become a diehard, you can get a discount on that event. But anybody's invited to our tailgate, so make sure you come out. We got 2 more left coming up on Sunday. And then the Thursday night game, the day after Christmas. It's the last one. So I implore all of you Bears fans to come out one of these last 2 times. Come hang out with us. Drink some Miller Lite. Have some sunny side there. Have some Firewater barbecue. Get some sunny side in your life.
Mm-hmm. Soak it up.
Our Circa friends are going to be there on Sunday. You can make a few bets. We're gonna keep having fun, even if the games make us miserable.
That's what we're gonna keep doing. And speaking of Sunnyside, Sunnyside's a proud sponsor of Carm's Notes.
Oh boy!
Thank you to our friends at Sunnyside for sponsoring the best segment on this post-game show. I appreciate you, Sunnyside. You've got great taste.
And you should visit sunnyside.shop for bright buys every day, including 50% off your first 3 online purchases. Enter promo code HICHGO at checkout to qualify. Exclusions apply. Sunnyside Cannabis Dispensary. Bright buys every day, only for 21 plus or Illinois medical card holders.
All right, so we start off. First play of the game, they handed it off to DeAndre Swift, and we were fired up. Established the run. The excitement was real. I mean, we were really building into it. And I thought that was great. The way they ran the ball in the first play of the game was one of the highlights of the game. And then all of a sudden,
the first play of the game,
the camera was on Brian Flores for like 7 hours. And we went into a deep conversation about Brian Flores. And that guy looked like a guy that I would like to have be the head coach of the Chicago Bears. Yeah. 4th and 1. Thomas Brown goes for it. Start the ball game. And, that did not work. And, Adam Hoge, you did not like the pitch call right there.
I didn't like they went left behind Amagashi.
Yeah.
But Lance was still right about the falling forward thing.
Yeah.
Drive those feet.
Soon thereafter, Greg Briggs, at this point in time, was actually really trying to bring energy. And he was storming around the studio, and he was screaming, kill. Because it was it felt like early in the season you were in it.
That's just what I yell.
Yeah,
there's a few things I go to during games, and kill is one of those where I feel like when they're that close to a sack, I don't know why it comes over me, but I just yell.
Yeah, keep it likable and learnable.
Feeling.
Yeah,
it's a natural feeling, right?
Yeah. Then there was
you always finish the tackle, so I wasn't worried about it. When I yelled when I was yelling on TV for you to get the kill, you'd get the kill.
I wish that Father Time. No,
get the hell back out there,
no,
because
I'm no. I changed my mind. I'm sorry.
Then there was a play with Caleb. It was a designed run. He took a solid shot, and I'm like, do we really want to be doing design runs at 4 and 9 now, 4 and 10 for the quarterback? Don't you just let him?
No, not when you're outnumbered to that side of the field. Would be great.
It didn't feel right. And then that's when we decided, you know what, we got to go get some dinner. And I thought I did a great job taking everybody's order tonight in the middle of the game. Hoge went with the catfish po' boy. I thought that was a strong job.
Nice.
Strong job by Hoge. Sarah was strong too, even though she went. She ordered something, then canceled the order, and then I had to do a double situation for Sarah, but she deserves it because she's so great for the team. And then Braggs asked me, Carm, do you have Venmo? And I took offense to that comment because as an adult, of course, I have Venmo and I have Zelle and I have all the methods of payment. And then Braggs couldn't figure out how to do Venmo when we were.
No, you didn't know what your Venmo name was, you jackass.
And then I showed you my Venmo for you to scan it, and you started writing down the Venmo versus scanning it. So anybody. So I'm dealing with an idiot who I love greatly, and it was a wonderful time.
Then I shortchanged him.
And then you shortchanged me for dinner. I was like, yeah, so I was 50. I'm like, you just had 2 drinks. We had an appetizer, and you have a sandwich at home. That. Do you understand where we're living in right now? Have you heard about inflation? So it was I took a loss tonight buying dinner for everybody, but it's no problem. I love everybody here. Then back on
when you buy dinner. get any money in return.
Right. And he ordered
So
the app.
I just wanted to clarify that you didn't buy dinner.
No, I didn't. No,
You did a bad job of collecting the money.
Bad collection. Lost the receipt. It was just a bad job.
He ordered the app. You know, where's your dinner etiquette? If I order the app, then the other person doesn't pay for the app. I got it.
You didn't pay for the app. Don't worry about it.
You ordered the app.
You didn't pay for the app.
I got to have the app. I want to order an app.
Okay. So now we move back to the field.
This is why Sunnyside sponsors this segment.
Love you, Sunnyside. Back to the field, and then we had a punt that was covered horribly by Terrell Smith.
Oh, God, I lost my mind.
Yeah, Hoge lost his mind because he was holding him the whole way down, and then he just threw whatever the defender was and the flag was thrown.
Well, he actually got away with the holding somehow, but then right at the end, he's like, I'm just going to shove you in the back.
Yeah, he didn't like that.
Block in the back.
That was not a good job. By the way, they could have drafted an offensive lineman in that round. Jalen Johnson, that's when the news popped that he didn't have the C. So we went on the hunt there. I somehow thought that Thomas Brown had gone crazy and taken away his C, but of course it was Tony Medlin. Joe Buck, 13:39 to go in the third quarter. Ball doesn't come out on Caleb. So that was the hardest go in.
That was actually a funny moment. He was just like, it just doesn't come out.
Yeah.
That's how he said it.
Lodged in there forever and always. No
picks.
Yeah. Then here on the back end here, as I was losing momentum, not going to lie, I did lose some momentum today. Still love you, Sunnyside. Keenan Allen, every week, you just count on him for dropping the football. Then, everybody's going in on everyone. There was a Mercedes Lewis rant in here, how he sucks and might be the worst player in football. That was from Steven. Yeah.
I'm sure there's worse.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we had the Doug Kramer moment as we take you through it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard about there's something going on with tasers around here that scared the hell out of me. That had to do with Lance and Greg, and I don't know what's happening there.
Oh, you're going to do it too.
Something's going on.
It's a family affair.
Yeah.
At the CHGO.
And then Sarah was very upset at DJ Moore and just called him soft as whatever because he didn't run hard enough to get a first down. I mean, everybody's going in on everybody. And then
firing line.
And then to wrap it up, Lance Briggs, just as a motivation to all of us, is like, listen, when we get there, when we win, whenever it is,
yes,
we are not going to be humble.
Do not be humble.
Do not be humble.
Because one day it's going to happen for us.
And it's going to be our only shot. So eat it up when we get it.
I've been in Detroit when Detroit was on a run. All right, and they're on a run right now. And they were some of the worst winners I had seen. And I was like, oh, that's terrible, But now I get it.
Yeah.
When we get there, we're going to party like it's 1999.
Chuck Fee 23 will be dead.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Well, maybe.
And when we thought the Bears scored a touchdown on the Doug Kramer play, what? Like
you did.
Me and Carm did. Because what song did he start singing? Because this should have made the notes.
That should have made the notes. You're right. I did bust into God Bless America when
right. I thought he was about to sing Bear Down, and then he just started singing God Bless America.
Yeah.
Land That I Know. Stand beside.
I didn't even catch that. I was too busy laughing at the fact that.
And then I started singing it with him. And then by the time we got to the end of it.
I just started humming it. It just that's what it felt like at the time because we had gotten in the end zone.
Land That I Love.
The best thing was I put my hands up. I'm
lyrics.
like, wait,
whatever.
Wait a minute. Flag on the field.
I know the Bear Down lyrics.
And Greg instantly stopped celebrating, and you just sadly walked back to your chair and you didn't say anything. When they announced the ineligible receiver thing, you didn't even say anything. You're just like. Okay.
The last touchdown of the game is on Twitter where we just sit there and don't move, and that was.
Oh, we should play that. I think we actually have that video.
Do we?
Yeah, it's okay. It's not anything earth shattering.
Listen, that is a Bears attitude right there. That's the attention to detail. We have it. Steven can pull it. It's funny. It's worth playing. It's 12:08.
Give you a look inside my broken soul.
Yeah, while Steven pulls that up, we'll also get to your super chats here before we get out of here. and then we are going to get out of here and go to bed.
Never come
It's
back.
late.
Yes. It is
To
all-
never
As
return.
hell.
We're going
Emma
out.
thinks
Are we not?
All right. This was the moment the Bears scored their one and only touchdown of the entire night.
Why?
I don't think Tyler Scott deserves a chance to play. I think this
Is this the right?
Hey, listen.
you're going for it here.
Why did the Bears?
That's yeah.
Whoops.
It kind of looked like that.
That was the same thing, though.
Same idea.
Yeah, it's a 10-second one, Steven.
Whoopsie. But that was another great reaction
was
by
right
us
before
watching the
it.
game.
That was just some random video Emma took of us without telling us.
And I definitely was talking about Tyler Scott. Here's the touchdown.
There we go.
We're lucky that's what
Look
you're
at how
talking.
comfortable-
That's true.
Touchdown.
I'm literally in the complete silence.
I actually liked that because, last week when we got a turnover down 48,000 points, Jonathan Owens ran to the end zone. It's like, come on, guys. Whereas this time, around the back from Keenan Allen to the ref, and everybody ran out the field. Like, that was way better.
It was just miserable because Keenan had all these drops on that drive too, and then he made two of the hardest, the toe tapper on the sidelines, which was a great throw and a great catch by Keenan. You're like, you can make that catch, but then all these much simpler catches they couldn't make today. And then when he makes a touchdown, it's a great throw, a great catch in traffic, threads the needle, but it's just not consistent enough. And so, I think number one, Hogs, what matters most from the pregame show is let's make sure that Caleb Williams is healthy for these final 3 games. Get as many reps as you possibly can. He certainly needs them, but also staying healthy for next season. Don't let anything, any kind of injury roll over into next year and affect your next. This year's already over, but,
Next year you're going to get hurt again.
Yeah, I get it, but we still can't have something catastrophic, knock on wood, happen here. At the same time, Caleb Williams, these last 3 games, needs to try to find some consistency, and that you can't just put it all on, well, my offensive line isn't good enough or my receivers are dropping passes. He's got to be able to be a little more consistent, hitting the checkdowns, and then also when you have an opportunity to throw things downfield, he's got to find more touch on some of these balls.
I'm sorry, Caleb. We want you to stay healthy now, but you are going to be destroyed next year.
That's right.
Because we haven't found an answer, and all the answers that we think, we fall flat on their face.
Someone's got to come up with something. Hey, I just want to bring up one more underrated moment of the night, and then we can get super chats and go home. You guys remember when Dominique Robinson blocked a punt
with his
and
face.
a punter with his face?
That was hilarious.
He blocked the punt and then also took out the punter both with his face. It's fantastic.
A hell of a face.
Yeah.
It's one of the best picks that Poles has had. Dom Rob.
5th
rounder.
Mm-hmm.
Played wide receiver in college.
They put your face on it.
Took him 3 years to become a defensive end.
You should have been on that movie. God. What was it with Face Off?
Face Off. Great
There
movie.
it is. Mike, there
John
it is.
Travolta,
There it is.
Nicholas Cage.
That's a great movie.
Nicholas Cage was on a heater back then. We were talking about The Rock earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
He was on a heater.
Mm-hmm. I think the long hair.
Love that movie.
Yeah.
Carm's never
Con
seen Face
Air.
Off either.
Oh, Con Air was
Have you seen
so
Con
good.
Air?
No. Because
Have
it
you
was
seen
moronic.
Face Off?
No.
Have you seen The Rock?
Yes. 1 for 3.
All right.
There it is.
Don't do anything else the rest of the night. Watch those other movies.
Okay. Okay.
And also, we could have spent an hour on Heretic or Heretic.
No, we don't need
Is
to
it
do that right
Heretic?
now.
We could.
We do not need to do that
Is
right
it
now.
heretic?
Heretic?
It's not heretic.
Heretic.
Might be
Great
Heretic.
movie.
It's Heretic.
Heretic.
Listen.
I was saying Heretic.
So this movie you've been talking about nonstop.
I was saying
since
Heretic.
4 o'clock. You've been saying it wrong.
Either way, great movie. Hugh Grant. If you want, we can spend an hour talking about that.
Giuseppe.
Somebody super chat that.
Giuseppe Mandel, my guy, for $50. Good news. There were some players that played hard. Gordon, Edwards, a few others. However, they are just such a mess. No discipline, just so hard to watch. The attitude of a bunch of hotshots that can't play as a team, if that makes sense. LOL. I think that makes perfect sense to 55 right here.
Individuals.
Yeah. Thank you, Giuseppe. Appreciate you.
Like when Tyreek Stevenson had a pass interference and was still talking smack.
He's having a great time. Nothing has dented Tyreek's spirit this year.
Austin Moore, $50. This organization managed to cement itself in hell. The Jets, Browns, and Giants are our company. George is conducting a circus, masquerading as someone that would buy a ticket. His work only impresses Jerry Reinsdorf.
It's not his hemorrhoids.
Yeah, wow.
It has been warmer in Chicago.
I get it. Yeah, okay.
I did not think we would be here, team, but we're here. This is exactly where we are.
I mean, if hell's getting closer, like I said, it's warmer in Chicago.
4-2
today.
Uh-oh.
We are slowing down here. Tim McDonald, he's a new diehard Carm. And he has new anger issues as well.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So, and then, do you want to welcome Tim or no?
Well, I do, but
you just can't keep going.
I really just Tim.
Going. I'll keep going. Kelly Witten with the $20 super chat too. Hey fellas, love y'all. I saw glimpses tonight, so there is hope.
Oh.
Caleb is getting blown up, but this isn't as bad as it could have been. I have to be positive because the holidays will suck otherwise. Bear down.
You know what, Kelly? That's the beauty that you bring to the situation. Just being able to see the positivity in a 30-12 loss. That's
Seriously,
impressive.
Finally, a holiday with good food.
Yeah.
We don't have to waste our time with turkey. Prime rib next week.
You cook the food.
That's true.
Back to Giuseppe, 1999. How has 85 just become non-existent all of a sudden? He should be a rookie quarterback's best friend. It's almost like 18, or I don't know what it is anymore. Why isn't he getting more targets or not being used with a rookie quarterback? Shake my head. I think everyone agrees. Throw the ball to the tight end.
Yeah, it's weird. And it's like when Cole got the ball at one time tonight, he looked so eager to run somebody over because it had been so long.
It's like he had a couple of drops and like, yeah, that's it. As if he's the one that's...
Nah, it's been a thing all season. They didn't even play him in week 1.
Right, no, I know.
Yeah. Chevy Wellington, $100.
We love you, Chevy.
Appreciate you. Hoge, you don't got to say let him. He's sending $100. Okay. I'm not a troll. I'm a fan. Just admit, this is the polls guy. Yeah. Your polls take was way off. You fell for the hype like most fans. King polls. Said in the summer, O-line wasn't addressed. Most sacked quarterback, bad built roster. Just admit it. I have. Good take, Chevy. You're the one person in the summer that was anti-polls. It worked out. Good for you.
Killed it.
Thanks, Chevy.
It's fantastic.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Assassin.
It's the only time we've ever been wrong on this show. That was the one Hoge take.
Yep, that's the only time.
We've been perfect. Bring back
Mark Paul Gauthier.
Bring back Claypool.
Goat stayed up, huh?
The Goat's the man.
$50. Well, it's $4.45 in the UK, and the highlight of the game was Bajan to Scott. How does Caleb get bruised or broken ribs on a late hit, and Sweat gets roughing the passer by just giving a shove to Darnold? Like and subscribe.
Thank you, Goat.
Yeah, Caleb had a face mask on that drive where the Bears have a penalty, that negates something, and then Caleb gets a face mask, doesn't get the penalty. Again, quicksand.
I think Justin Fields drew a roughing the passer call yesterday.
That's his second of the year.
So maybe it's just the jersey you're wearing.
Go, Justin.
Couldn't get one in 4 years here, but
that Steeler.
Now he's a Steeler, doesn't even play. He goes out there for 2 snaps a game. Passer for on that play. Well, he got injured. He got injured here too when he didn't call it. Another one from Giuseppe, $20. I don't get it. I suit up and show up to work every day, work my ass off to get people into rehab, sick or not. I still got fired. Showed up to a new job the very next day. I don't get these players anymore.
Neither do I, buddy.
Yeah. What else we got? We'll do a few more.
Let's get one more from Kelly, 1999. Concussions aren't a function of a bad neck mobility. It's bad technique and mechanics, and desperation will make it worse. People like Brisker making their bones on dangerous moves ain't how we lose players. Are how we lose players. Well,
I still feel bad for Brisker because he was actually doing the right thing on the one this year.
Yeah. $20 for Chevy Wellington, by the way. I disagree with some takes, but still a fan. Subscribe, smash a like for those guys having to cover this nightmare of a sports team. Chevy. It's our pleasure, Chevy. We are incredibly fortunate to be here, but we also appreciate the fact that we can have the good disagreement. You keep supporting us. It means a ton, so thank you.
100%. All right, that's going to do it for us, I think. Any final thoughts here that don't have to do with movies you can't pronounce?
Get some rest. Some rest.
Who was the dyer that I just messed up? I just want to shout that out on the way out here, please.
I don't think he's going to be able to find that.
No.
You'll look it up, save it for tomorrow.
I'll bring it on tomorrow.
Yeah. We will be back tomorrow, by the way. 1 o'clock show.
1 o'clock show.
Professor Briggs
got the
coming with the grades.
Be in the house.
Yes.
Corey Taylor had a nice punt.
It's going to be, yeah.
Herb Howard will be in here.
It's going to get ugly.
Mr. Braxton Jones news.
Lance also promised to break down every single one of Tory Taylor's punts the entire season. So we got that coming.
One of the greatest fourth-round picks we've ever had.
Sadly, that's kind of true. And we also got the 85 of Cole Kmet tomorrow night at 7 p.m. as well. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for everybody staying up late with us tonight. Please hit that like button.
Shout out to the Gooch, who's a diehard. Gooch, you're my guy. You too, Pizzy Tola. You too, Rodney.
Subscribe. Good night.
We all silly like the mayor.